Yes, 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 yes. This is segment 12, and I am happy because I'm cutting it off here. Just straight up, episode 3 of Tablet Talks is just too long. Okay, episode 3, where we are dissecting specifically Danielle Rama Hoffman's transmission of Thoth into then what is being sold on Amazon as the Tablets of Life, the Tablets of Light, same thing, light and life, what I'm at. The Tablets of Light, the teachings of Thoth on unity consciousness. So I'm cutting it short because we're already seeing through the last 11 parts that it's just really repeating itself. The whole point of this book is to use like over 100 pages just to like all these truths that like they've taken from my text. So it's things that should make sense, that would make sense on their own, but they're only using these truths to hammer in that you are part of source and that it is your desire. And we've already shown how they've exposed themselves in there. Like, it's clearly your desire. So it's like, as Thoth, I teach fasting. I show people how to be desireless so that they can further indulge in their desire in a more fun and aware way. Because life is desire. We desire life. That's the point of life. Life and light being desire. It's all about externalizing our nothingness. And we have to feel like doing that. So we're about to just start cutting through this because we have actual true spiritual desires to get to. Us continuing to read this, like this would turn into like a 30 segment episode just for 3, where I would just continuously repeat myself about how these are lies and they want to colonize your mind. We have way more productive things to be doing with our life. This is the thing with logic. Logic relies on you getting lost in it because it's sucking your vibration. That's why, like, you know, there are people who are more than happy to argue with you because they kind of actually go around and they sort of get off on using logic to suck emotions out of people. That's like when we think about kids, that's sort of a bully. That's literally what a bully is. A bully is just using all the light that they can to drain the soul from the children around it, get emotional reactions. So we're about to just start speaking through this because it's just clear that the whole intention, no matter what we read, all these chapters, all this flowery language about these analogies and comparing things, is the intention is to indoctrinate you into a cult that is based around worshiping me and chasing me so that they can trap all the energy around that. So as people read this and worship me and chase me and want divine unity with me and are shining their light and like holding this vibration, the entities that have put them in this state and have convinced them to do this can use that, and they are, to build their world, to build their system. This is how spiritual corporations work. So yeah, let yourself flow with your source light. I'm literally actually going to stop reading these words. This might just be a wrap up because this is so lost. We've already seen it. I'm like beyond frustrated. It's literally just cult stuff. Like, it's all just meant to make spirits who don't want to be alone with themselves feel like I want them to be alone with me. Because as we remember, if you remember, as we opened up, these tablets literally are all about this woman transmitting Thoth, and then Thoth comes in and says, yes, your true infinity is being married to me. So your way to wholeness is through me. It's literally just Christian stuff. It's the same exact Jesus thing. So it's like when people put their sins on Jesus, that's not nice to Jesus. You know, like as an entity, like just that spirit, because this is what worship is. You are putting your subconscious outside of yourself. So now this other spirit has to deal with your feelings instead of you, because you're projecting all of it onto them. That's basically worship. Like, women worshiping me is some of the most unhealthy, unsexy things ever. Like a woman worshiping is just like, you are gross then. Like you have a bunch of internal grossness. I don't care how attractive you appear to be physically, how fit you appear to be physically. You clearly have a bunch of internal grossness to be shining this light at me so much. And like this light doesn't even feel good. So like, yeah, they literally have this whole ring of inclusion as we see. So there's women just creating rings of inclusion about worshiping me. And it's resulted, I'm very certain, very like with how weird my life has been, this has only makes sense with the timing and everything. Very certain that this has resulted literally in the physical cult of women that were worshiping me at conventions just for me being chaste when, I mean, I'm still the same spirit. So it's all tied to, it's all subconscious. It's all tied through the spirit. It's all tied through space. And the spirit is communication. So as women are like communicating with this and like they're doing all that, it affects me. So it's important that now I'm communicating here to trap this energy and separate even stronger. Because this is just Christian Jesus stuff. They're literally saying you like don't feel happy on your own. So bring your unworthiness to Thoth. And Thoth is the one who has built the pyramids and has done so much for the simulation and like is so wise and blah, 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 blah. And he is the one who is letting you know that we're all part of this other thing. So if you want to be truly infinite in yourself, make sure you unite to him so he can unite you to this other thing. Just like, hey, you're unworthy of God's love, so God sent Jesus to sacrifice himself. So make sure you worship Jesus so Jesus can save you to God and let God know, like, hey, they're worshiping me. So it's wild. Deepening and expanding your internal vibration. That's what the shift in this moment is about. That's why we're not saying to go and change your external life so that you're happy on the inside. We're saying you already have within you on the inside the capacity to access more joy and happiness and how your life is right now. That is your spirit. So again, like we already see, they're just going to keep getting us lost in consciousness. They're never going to bring up the subconscious. Okay? So the subconscious is your darkness. That's your soul. They're obsessed with consciousness because they're obsessed with your body and they want to make your body part of another body, their source. Now all that stuff. Man, bro, like this is frustrating. That's why, yeah. We've got actual leveling up to do. Not getting lost in this for another 12 segments of 45 minutes straight. Just me being angry. Like I made the connections I need to make, kinda. Like this is long. That's why we're gonna. All right. See, midwifing oracular vision. So like they're already talking about midwifing. If the goal of the journey and the destination are to be the incarnated source light, then the way that you might coach them is to be able to absorb and be aware of the light that already exists right here and right now. Okay. Where is the light? Where's the divine? All right. Skip. 9. Light sequence decoded. Evolutionary sequence of divine awakening. A journey of vibration and frequency. You are decoding the light codes that are within your crystalline cellular structure as you move from word to word, page to page, and segment to segment within this book. Skip. Maybe you've been asking what your purpose is, and now you know. What is your purpose? You know that you always knew. Okay. It may be very tangible. It may also be very energetic. You may move into an energetic vortex of these decoded source light codes. This is a journey of vibration, a journey of frequency that you take, all within your being. And they're saying that your true purpose is to be part of, the divine source. You're decoding divine source light codes within your crystalline structure. You just keep repeating like feel-good things. So like when people have talked to me like, bro, I love your tablets. And like later I realized that they're demons. It makes sense now reading my tablets. Like I didn't really realize too much how lost my tablets were and how they were really meant to fulfill the desires of spirits who have so many negative emotions they don't want to be alone. So they run into things like this. There's nothing outside or excluded from this process of you illuminating. As waves of energy pulse through these pages, the words, the energy environment of the sacred text have a sensation of your system, matching the key or the decoding information with what has been hidden and heavily encoded within you. The waves of energy are washing away the cobwebs. Skip. Learn a new language. It's like when I get like frustrated, bro, it's and I'm sure everyone goes through that, right? That's literally when you as a spirit, your imagination just like starts burning so hot and dancing so much, your water boils too hard, and then it's like your body, your force structure literally cannot communicate how much is trying to come out of your chi, because your chi is your spirit, your external spirit that is animating your body from the two. You don't know what you're hearing. You can see people speaking, and as they're speaking this language, you can sense that they're not different from you. They're using their lips, their voices, and their tongues to string together letters, sounds, words, sentences, and paragraphs. They're expressing something. They're just trying to teach you English. I already have you lost in English. Skip. A larger evolutionary sequence of divine awakening. We're about to just start reading the headlines. Skip. You have this very unique sequence, consciousness, and information within you that's been left for you, by you, and through you. Skip. So they're literally trying to say that like you are so much the source. They want to colonize all your lifetimes. Like, hey, you don't remember your past lifetimes? Just know that like they're all part of source. And as you remember and like start to journey through and remember your past and the future, know that it is all infinite because it is part of us. They literally want to be all possibilities. And they had to lie blatantly and colonialize true wisdom to do that. Skip. This book as a calibration sequence. Skip. What you carry connects you to the wholeness. Skip. Basically, these headlines are just going to start repeating themselves, right? Like, come on. Trusting that you can share your part of the light sequence. Skip. At this point, we just need to get to the end of the book. Because, yeah, this cult is really trying to indoctrinate us into some wild stuff. Trust and neutrality. Skip. They're literally just repeating themselves. Like, as I'm reading this, like, we've read this already. We've already read this. Like, this is why it's just a wrap now. Yeah, I'm glad this is the last segment. Let's go on to different episodes and make some other art. Because this is pretty wild. The freedom to be you. If you're someone who has a quiet power, it's not all of a sudden that you become this in your face loud person. It's that the quiet power thrums, hums, purrs. There's an amplification of it. They're literally just repeating themselves like, ah. It's like when they're saying it's a vibrational text, I get it. Like they're weaponizing this. The vibration is repetition, right? Like that's what these videos are, where we are getting these that's what life is in general, because life is subconscious. Everything is a cycle. Everything's a water cycle. Everything is feelings repeating themselves. That's why we have time. Time is just the logical blocking out based on one individual's opinion of how feelings repeat themselves. Feelings repeat themselves regardless of whether you feel like that or not. So that's just where, when we're talking about, using a vibration to so specifically using words, using a language that has feelings attached to those words, that's why they constantly have, they repeat themselves. Like they'll say, you are divine light, know that everything is one consciousness. And it's like trying to make it musical, you see, right? It's because that's what music is, a vibration. It's rhythmic, it's over and over. And that's how we only remember things. We get that muscle memory even when we do movements over and over again, when we have to do everything over and over again. If you just do something once, did you really do it? You tried it, but so that's where, and that's not to say that just because you do something, don't take that and run away with it and be like, oh, Like that can go so many ways. Literally, me just being like, "Oh," was enough to describe how many ways that could go. It's just about that when you do something, unless you're actually doing it over and over again, you're not actually passionate about it. So like there's a difference between a kid who takes a basketball and shoots at a hoop and then it bounces off and he's like, I suck, versus a kid who shoots and then it bounces off and he's like, oh, I didn't make it. And then he spends weeks and he still isn't making it. But his spirit has them there hitting the reps because it's subconsciously his destiny to get that. And that's just where, like, what it has to look like. It has to look like repetitions. As we see in nature, the sun doesn't rise once. The moon doesn't rise once. All right. Part 2, the divine incarnate. Your access point to embodying source consciousness is your unique essence. Didn't they already say this? My fam. Like, literally, didn't they say this? Yo, didn't they? Like, they're just repeating themselves. This is so wild. Source cohesion. You are the access point of source consciousness. No, you're not. You are the center of your universe. They're trying to colonize you right there. You are the access point of source consciousness. They are the access point of source consciousness. Their light is so blind, like so blinding, so blindingly bright that they're shining on you from their space that you can only see them. So you can only see this thought of you are the access point of source consciousness. And you would have to you would have to close your eyes and not be blinded by their light to see that you are the center of your universe. And someone is just telling your consciousness that it is the access point of the source. And they're trying to teach you that the source is you, your universe, your spirit, your ability to imagine and do infinity, anything. Pretty wild. The colonialism here. So this is how they're really doing it. Skip. We've read all this. We've truly read all this. The streaming forth of the emerald tablets. Given that these are tablets of consciousness, there is awareness of the emerald tablets being accessed in an evolved way. Be within. And as you are within in this cohesive vibration, you're aware of the cohesive vibration without. Your system is thrumming to source consciousness, and as such, you're aware of that communion with source as well as other points of the universe. These other points, as well as other, are in nature, in other beings of light who are incarnated. Okay, so again, they're getting you lost in the physical. I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today. I literally might just be like, well, yeah, it's the fire, and it's also just, it's a lot of F energy. Frustration, flame, fumigation, fumes coming out, blah, 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 blah. All right, blah, blah. And just like actually wanting to not have us be lost in this anymore. So we can move on to some better content for sure. Because this is literally just cult stuff. As the emerald tablets are streaming forth in this segment in this sacred text, like it literally just keeps referring to itself. Like as we're doing this, you're leveling up. You're doing like, bro, like what? This is so weirdly, feel good demonic stuff. Honestly, I'm gonna take a hit real quick, and then I'm gonna get a little more grounded, so I can more so focus on the earth at hand. Instead of all this stuff I kind of want to communicate, and it's like, anchor it. Let's anchor it. All right, so skipping here, a deep remembering evolution of the emerald tablets. Skipping, so they've taken my tablets. So this is what's weird about this text. It's being proposed by Danielle is simultaneously a transmission of me live, like me talking through her, I guess. Like she's a conduit for me. Yet it's also a transcription of what I wrote. So I actually, as a spirit that is Thoth, can tell you right now, they didn't talk to me. They didn't channel me. Those are all lies, complete lies, to affirm you into this ring of inclusion that they have going on, to trap your soul in a simulation and trap your imagination, and simultaneously almost like weigh me down too. So I have to be here saying this for myself in a very deep way. Yeah, it's they did not actually talk to me. This is certainly a transcription of my Emerald tablets, and then it's just all changed to fit Christian propaganda and be highly repetitive. And then the way it was trickled out, the details, the devil's in the details. Like, that's all their stuff. But definitely, they did not talk to me. They did not get direct link with me. This is not me speaking in here, because all of this is predicated on that this woman is channeling me, so it's actually me writing this. Like, people who buy this from Amazon and read it and feel all good about it believe that it's me writing and speaking to them in this way of marry me, unity, consciousness. I just barf up my whole heart, bro, and let my heart fly away and let me just get out of here. Take a break, and then I'll come back to my body and be, and then we can continue the video. The fact that I made it as a joke means I just did it. So let's continue. The sacred tablets are states of being. At this point in your journey together, you're becoming aware that each of these tablets that comes forward in each segment of our conversation is a state of being, and they want to steal your soul. All right. Our focus within the tablets of light is not so much about what becomes of your connection to source, because that can never be taken away, yet rather strengthening your internal awareness of this connection. They're literally doing their best. This is the whole point. It's pretty obvious that I'm cutting out because it's technology of this world made by these entities doing this colonialism does not want me to tell you that they desire you to believe that your spirit is light. So everything that I said about the spirit, they're taking and they just replace spirit with source. And they're teaching you that the source is light. And then they can just get you lost in infinite knowledge about what the source is and why it's infinite, and just tell you everything that you are inside of one little language. A language that was meant to destroy your spirituality. So, whatever. You are incarnated source awareness. Wrong. You are nothing. You are nothing. You need to know that you are zero. You are zero. That is true infinity, infinite possibilities. One, the number one is awareness. That's what they're operating from. They're operating from their ego. One is their desire. One is desire in general. So everyone desires to be an individual. It's just a matter of what does that look like. These entities desire to be an individual by enslaving other individuals. So that's where you, as an entity, have to figure out if you desire to be enslaved or not. And if you do, then cool, source consciousness will be a thing for you. If not, then create your own light, figure something else out, create with other entities who are not trying to enslave you at the very least. But don't work for someone who is blatantly lying to you about the spirit, because these are blatant lies. Like, this is not me. They're using me to lie to you so that they can drain you of your soul. That's not a friend. That's not a family. That's not nice. That's not fun. That's not pleasant. That's not sexy. That's not great. That's not any positive emotion. Because what does it say about the spirit that desires to do this so much that they're willing to go to this extent? And all the spirits that resonate with that too, to help them in a way that, like, it's a system going on. Because it's individuals. Everything is individuals popping off. Skip. Distortion is resonant at its base. Skip, skip. The alchemy of inclusion. Skip, skip, skip. Consciousness of you. You being you evolves everything. They want to steal you. Skip. They've been saying this. What is energy made of? Bro. Okay. Well, it's understood that everything is made up of energy. Whatever spirits are attacking my phone are making sure that we go out episode 3 with a bang. What is energy made of? It's understood that everything is made up of energy. What it is that all energy is made up of. It's made up of consciousness. It's made up of light. It's made up of source. So everything is energy. So they're literally saying it right here. So we're not even going to keep reading that. Energy is physical reality. Energy is your body. It goes frequency, vibration, energy. And frequency comes out of the spirit. So that is a 4-tier system. So that's where spirit is a 0. And then it creates fire, which is then like the frequency. And then it creates water, which is the vibration. And then it creates air and earth, which is the externalization of those things. And that's energy. And that's all the logical stuff that we can see and just like label and use to refer to invisible things and refer to things that we can't actually see and can't actually touch because it's a spirit. Okay? Like they can save you so much time if, they were actually talking to me and actually concerned with giving you the truth instead of enslaving you. Skip, skip, skip. Your willingness to stand out. They want you to stand out inside of them so that they can drain your imagination. A true partnership with yourself. If you were partnering with yourself, you would not be reading this and not be trying to marry me through them. Skip, skip. Coming back into union. All right, marry yourself. Skip. Choosing yes and no at the same time. Skip. Your consciousness touches everything. They're literally just getting you lost in energy. So they literally want you only assigned to the earth realm. That's why they're also just talking about earth and not you creating your own worlds or how to do that. I love talking about that. So there's no way I'd be talking through them for this long and like not bringing that up. Skip, skip. Divine union. Occupy your divine access point. Skip. Reclaiming your divine access point. Skip. To reclaim your divine access point is a cosmic choice. The beauty of reclaiming something is that in and of itself, it denotes what's yours. It denotes that it's a part of you, a part of your signature energy. Skip. This invitation that's transmitted through these words and the frequency and vibrations of this sacred text is to be you, to take off any with skip. There's room for everyone at the divine banquet. All right, family stuff. Skip, 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 skip. We are only 54% through this. Like, that's wild. This is so long. This is so long. This is so much lostness. This is like the longest, windiest road, and it's all lostness that, like, I mean, I'm not about to say anyone could write because you can always just go longer. That's the thing with lostness. But to imagine like wiping my brain and actually sitting here reading this and like really reading all through this and being like, I would have to not be me. I just can't imagine doing that. I literally, as the actual spirit that they are colonizing, assimilating into their Christian propaganda. Yeah, I would literally have to not be me to read this and feel good about it. Because this is just stealing your spirit and your imagination. And they're using everything that I put out about the spirit to make you believe that the spirit is light. So that they can control light. Because light is what you can see. So that's why they are talking about light, energy, consciousness, and earth. Because it's all just the dense thought stuff. So they're using thought to make this happen. But like the point of thought is that everything is thought, really, because that is what makes a spirit create life, is a thought. Everything came out of a thought. It's just, yeah, the wisdom knowing that that thought came out of an invisible realm called emotion. Skip. The fear of letting your brilliance shine. Skip. Skip. Staying in wholeness. Skip. Skip. Being who you are fully. Skip. Man, they love that, huh? Honestly, we're just skip, an energetic growth spurt, infinite energy. Ride the wave of the impulse of creation. They've been saying this. They're absorbing and assessing unity consciousness. Our magical conversation continues from within the emerald tablets. So they're okay, right. So they're like claiming, I suppose, that they're transmitting my emerald tablets from the astral realm, basically. So it's like that balance where it's like, I mean, the tablets physically down here, and then also they're claiming like they got access to me and they're channeling me, and I gave them permission to also channel the emerald tablets that I have. The capacity to create and transmit. Skip. Expressing the desire. Skip. Transcending the collective conscious taboos. Okay, actually, we're just going to go all the way to the end. If you want to read this, I'll actually flip slower, just so like we can just look at it. Like, we don't have to really read it. Like, just one glance at a page and we can see how much lostness it is. And that's just like spiritual speed reading, right? When you're not like trying to actually focus on it consciously, and you just sort of let the whole vibration of what is being said pop out at you and affect you. It, like, if anything is actually different or important, I will focus on it. Yeah, just more analogies. Like, it's literally just lostness. They are repeating themselves so much. Truly, like, this is how America runs politics, where they just repeat themselves constantly and repeat what people like to hear, but they're saying what people like to hear so that they can do what people wouldn't want them to do. Always. So it's the same consciousness is coming from the same space, clearly. These intentions. Big skip. Okay. Your divine transmitter, Danielle, has a lot of access points of source consciousness. So, Danielle, you're being lied to. Some other entity is acting like they're me. Either you're lying or you're being manipulated by somebody who's lying. Either way, the result has not been pleasant for me or any of the people who got lost in this stuff, in desire of chasing me and then being enslaved by source consciousness through doing that. I'm going to have to say, you have blood on your hands. Just big time, the spirit controlling you. Again, the whole pyramid scheme. Hey, I'm not here to personally judge you, because that's not where my energy is being directed. That's your internal thing. That's more universe stuff. I am here to judge whatever spirit takes and steals, just violates consent. So, Danielle, if you did specifically somehow see my tablets and truthfully like want to lie to people, and you're living a lie, and you're like violating that consent, quote unquote, then yeah, like, how dare you? You actually have blood on your hands. Whoa. Like, I'm not even going to say the words I would say. But I'm pretty sure, just like, you know, most spiritual conscious women in this reality, they have a female body, and it seems like a lot of spirits just create female bodies specifically because they don't like being alone, so they can create some super attractive boobs and butt and figure, hourglass and whatever, to run away into physical reality and just assign themselves to whatever spirit, whatever man, whatever son of God, whatever light, whatever masculine thought form makes them feel comfortable outside of their space, because their inside space is way more uncomfortable. This is what, I mean, this is very universal problem, but like this is big on earth. It's what fuels capitalism, really. And it's kind of, it's nurtured here. So that's why it's important to get it in check through fasting specifically. Because when you fast, you learn how to actually unite your woman and your man together. You know how to bring your feelings and your thoughts together, so you actually create a life that is pleasant and awesome internally. So then externally, you're only having an even more awesome life because you're projecting that and creating it. And even when other spirits are not projecting that onto you and they have all their problems, you're not nearly as affected because your vibration is just higher. A bird can't really get eaten by an alligator unless the bird really swoops down, right? So it's just like that vibration thing. For her, focusing on creativity, being a creator, creation, and multidimensional communication are keys to what unlock the quantum evolution within her. You can see how that relates to her divine light mission. We're using her as an example for two reasons: to clarify that she already knows which areas to focus on, and also to concretize this customized way of being multidimensional. This is disgusting. So yeah, Danielle, like, so many spirits, like, I feel bad for you. Because just for the benefit of the doubt, so that I can just like be happy and stuff, so many spirits, and I have to assume like you are being taken advantage of, are, you know, they have daddy issues. So that's to make it grounded, right? Women who have daddy issues, this is a spiritual equivalent of having a bad internal realm, because your feelings don't feel good about your thought. Your woman doesn't feel good about your man. So you, as your own child, have daddy issues. You have thought issues. So they're using me as Thoth, as thought, to rope in all those feminine spirits that then want to take all their waters to me. And now like they're like draining their souls and their imaginations and everything, and just trapping them on earth specifically as well. That is the point. Consciousness, earth, everything you can see. So it's important. Believe in yourself. It's like, if you can't see anything, you are what is seen. Like, you are the light, quote unquote. You are consciousness enough. The fact that you exist, you are the source. Anyone trying to convince you to connect to their source is trying to convince you to give your soul away to them, your individual perspective. I'm not about that at all. I don't support this in any way, shape, or form. That's why this is so frustrating. So I feel bad for you, Danielle. I feel bad for all the women that are like chasing desires and like doing this. Whereas at the same time, hey, I completely understand the fact that with lifetimes being so infinite, nothing can be done alone. If you're in this space where you need help like this, and that's cool, but the issue here is that this is all lies, as we're seeing. Like, that's why I'm so incredibly angry, because these are just straight up lies, or else people wouldn't be lost in desire. So these are just taking advantage of abused children. Spirits abuse themselves, and then they're taking advantage of the spirits who forget that they abuse themselves. And spirits get abused too. It's just literally about like the feeling. This is how everything's vibration. Because like you have to be in the same vibration as something to manifest that thing. So that's where like you do create the circumstances for you to go through issues. At the same time, it doesn't mean at all that you're really at fault for those things. Like it's so much bigger than that. Because the spirit creates circumstances for it to empathize and feel and learn how, due to lack of awareness, it can be taken advantage of by greater awarenesses. And that's very much what we're seeing here, where spirits who do create their own lives are doing it at way, way lower awarenesses than the spirits who are taking advantage of them. So everyone's creating life and doing the same thing. It's just about in what magnitude and what scale. And these spirits that are manipulating Danielle are specifically holding her way, way down. Way down. with my names. They're using me to hold her way down, being like, yeah, source consciousness, stay on earth. Boo. Increasing your bandwidth for multidimensional consciousness. Skip, 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 skip. Universal divine design. Creating through light and frequency. 78. Skip, 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 skip. They're actually not saying anything. Like, you see this too, right? Like, they're not saying anything new. They literally are truly repeating themselves. There's nothing new in here from like the first just 3 chapters, actually. Like, we're 81% through here. Yo, it's just hella analogies to make you lost in light. And talking about like, yeah, union. And weaponizing how you should have union with yourself, but if you're here, you might be already here on earth because you don't want to be in union with yourself. So then they're trying to make you be in union with me instead. And use that, all your energy while you're doing that, while you're chasing union with me. That's fucking wild. Skippity skip. All right, 94%. Embodied divine. Amplification, flow, lightning. Your vibration is not the same as it was when we began this conversation within the walls of the temple of the tablets of light. Yes, it is way more like that. Your vibration is not the same as it was. Your vibration is now uniquely you and yours. So they literally just said that they, through their words, gave you a vibration that's uniquely you. What kind of blasphemy? That is witchy witchcraft. Crazy. I'm glad we're at the conclusion. Wholeness. Yeah, skip. I don't even want to read this. Like, amplification. As you're accessing more of what it is you may not have accessed previously because you have more multidimensionality available to you. Lostness. Resources. Divine transmission offerings. Okay, this is Thoth. I'm Thoth. This is not Thoth. Let's see what they're saying Thoth is saying. The Council of Light and the Divine Light activation sequence that are moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission. Wrong. I am not part of a Council of Light. I am symmetry. If anything, like if anything, like if we're going to talk about any government that I have going on, it doesn't even have a name. Like, the only name for government that I have really going on is the wisdom of spirit. That's my government. That's my council. That's like the spirits who vibe with me. Like, the wisdom of spirit, just infinite nothingness, the wisdom associated with that. We ride that, and we build structures through that, and we share structures through that. And we create magic and everything through that, for sure. But that's true ultimate freedom. That has nothing to do with light. Light is just how that looks to you. And that's only contextual based on your awareness anyway. So, like, oh my God. The purpose of this transmission is to place energies, consciousness, and offerings onto the altar of the heart for you to vibe into, to see if they are yours to be, do, and have or not. We at Divine Transmissions are available to continue our multidimensional conversation in a variety of ways. We know that these offerings are in response to your asking, in response to your calling, and as such, they are like treasures that you have been looking for on your treasure hunt of evolution. Sometimes you are clear about what it is on your treasure hunt list, and sometimes you aren't clear on what it is that you are looking for until you find it. We would invite you to tune into vibrationally recognizing if these are gifts you have left for yourself to find at this time. We are choosing to mention 3 ways of engaging more deeply with me, Thoth. Let's see what's up. In the Divine Transmission Councils of Light. You can find out more about how we can support you in being your multidimensional, fully embodied divine self below, and by visiting our website, divinetransmissions.com. We'll have to check that out at some point. Thoth's Magic Academy. Be You Full Out Anchored in Unity Consciousness video program. Wow. This year and a day journey is one in which we have daily contact through video transmissions, the purpose of which is multidimensional. Firstly, to give yourself with an environment that fosters your connection to Source as a top priority in your life. How does my spirit feel about that? Okay. Thirdly, to amplify who you are and what you are here to be, do, and have in this incarnation. There is more, I was going to incantation, because they're just spelling and binding your soul in a spell in this incantation. There is more to be garnered from being in unity consciousness, joy, abundance, and unity. Then repeating another repetitive pattern of separation consciousness, fear, doubt, and lack. Thoth's Magic Academy is a pathway to shift out of separation and into unity permanently. These colonizers have no shame. Like, I really can't imagine how wild your internal world would have to be be this motivated and this okay with doing this. Like, I guess that's the point of being manipulated through tears, so that it's not so harsh, it's not so black to white. It's more of a gradient of influence. Because that's how this would have to happen, I feel like. Unless it's just really, I don't, hey man. Infinity and beyond. Divine Light Activation. The Divine Light Activation is a 22 light activation sequence that we, Thoth and the Council of Light, are transmitting for the purpose of initiating the return of the divine wholeness on Earth. Those that are called to partner with us in this initiation sequence will have been on a journey of evolution and devotion that spans across this lifetime. Devote yourself to yourself. Don't devote yourself to me. This is literally, oh my God, this is true mental colonialism that manifests in wild cult stuff. This is so subconscious. Everything is so connected. Everything is truly happening at once. In this everything is happening at once. They're colonizing people's spirits so that they influence them through past lives to worship me and worship unity consciousness through me. And it's yo, I have not had fun with the experiences that women have thrown at me and projected at me in this lifetime and past lifetimes. It's not fun to connect with a woman who looks like she wants you, but really she just wants something from you because she's not whole within herself. Because that's who these are targeting, women who are not complete inside themselves. I, as Thoth, I'm a feminine man, so I would naturally want the balance of a masculine woman, aka a woman who likes to be alone, because I like to be all one. I'm good at being all one. So I would require a girl who's good at being alone. But nah, because it takes, if you're going to be in a cult and worshiping something, you literally need to have an all one woman that does not want to nurture her own man, her own thought. And then that's where this cult stuff gets super out of hand, because these girls who are worshiping me and stuff, they'll have boyfriends, and the boyfriends will want to hurt me. So it's now the dudes are getting hella insecure, and they're threatening violence on me because their girl is focusing on me too much. And it's all based out of that girl not wanting to be alone. Because if she didn't have a man, at least I wouldn't be exposed to his issues. But now, because he's got issues and she's got so many issues that she doesn't want to be alone, so she has this guy on the side, but she still wants me. Now I have to deal with him too. It's relationships are hell. Okay, relationships are hell. This is why the all one realm is hell. The alone realm is heaven. Fire, the frequency, is up here. Vibration, water, is down here. And then is density. Then is vibration from there. So hell is just density. It's repetition. It's pattern. Spirit, the true heaven, is desirelessness. Because it's then this cult stuff only appears fun, straight guys in this lifetime, it only appears fun to people who are so in their desire that they would want that for themselves, that they can't imagine that it would be whack to have women constantly trying to sexually project whatever weird things they have onto them because they feel like they're going to get stronger and level up through unity consciousness. You need to get stronger and level up through yourself, because I get weaker when I'm with you and you're just expecting me to make you stronger, and now I'm using my strength to just dive into a black hole. Like, I'm sending my light into a black hole when I should be sending my feelings into my own light instead of focusing on yours. And then when we are building our lights together, that's where it's like, yo, we've got something popping together. How awesome. Don't worship. Like, man, don't bring your problem. Like, so this is why communication is key. This is it for episode 3. Yeah, email us at Danielle at Divine Transmissions. Honestly, I'm not about to do that because there's no reason for me to. They'll see it when they see this, and if they feel like actually communicating in a much more truthful manner, then cool. But I just said relationships are hell. I'm not about to now go use my consciousness to go do what? Like, do what here? Colonizer's going to colonize, and it's all just part of the sea. So here we are. This is your boy Symmetry, aka Tehuti, aka Thoth, aka Chase Clarence Calloway, aka Hermes Trismegistus, aka Chickatet. Chickatet is fire. I love being Chickatet. So that is it here, bro. We are out. I love you dearly. And when I say I love you, yes, you who are the center of your universe, you infinite individual spirit, yes, I love you because I know that you are truly making everything else happen. No matter what role you're playing, no matter what vibration or frequency you're carrying, you are an integral cog in the whole machine of infinity, in the whole clockwork of just time and space. Like, you matter. And it's just a matter then of how much do you feel like you matter. If you feel like you don't matter, then white supremacist colonizers who do tablets like this using my name will make you feel like you matter so that they can take your spirit. And really, they're using you to do horrible, awful things that your imagination probably wouldn't support. And you really just need to invest in your own imagination, because that's what real gods want to see. Real gods want to see you be an individual. We're out, gang.